Quantum leaping as a direct descendant of United States chattel slavery. I am Queen with Soft Eye Boutique, and I want to get on here real quick and talk about how I quantum leap, manifest, all of these good things that you hear people talk about as a direct descendant of United States chattel slavery. I can only speak for myself and my own experiences. When I say we, I'm specifically talking about myself and my ancestral DNA makeup and composition. I am not talking about anybody else because black is not a monolith. And even black folks who were direct descendants of United States chattel slavery, we are not monoliths as well. So I want to get on here and I really want to discuss the importance to me for quantum leaping and manifestation, and how most of what you see out here is simply don't apply to black Americans who are descendants of United States chattel slavery. Why? Because we have more layers and blockages that need to be removed from not only our minds, but our hearts, our souls, and our DNA, because epigenetics is real. So I really don't get into what most of the people talking about: quantum jumping, quantum leaping, alternate realities, parallel universes. I really don't get into what they're saying, even though I know, because that's the whole point of all of this, is for them, what they are teaching is totally possible for somebody who is coming from their reality. Okay, so it's easy. It is what it is. It's easier for them to go from 0 to 6 figures, or sometimes 0 to 7 figures, because of the society, the global society that we are living in, that makes it easier for them. Now, when it comes to black Americans who are direct descendants of United States chattel slavery, I really don't like that I'm verbalizing this, because I don't know firsthand what my people went through, but I understand epigenetically what my folks went through, from the oral histories, from the written histories, and the court records, everything that I've read and researched on my own, and how I currently experience life in my reality. So we are technically at the bottom. And we pretty much have to catapult ourselves in order for us to gain any momentum and move forward to where we're on an even playing field. And I'm saying all this to say, because you can take somebody who's technically out of the bush in Africa. Okay, you can take somebody who out of the bush in Africa. Yes, we know colonization, transatlantic slave trade, all of that happened on the continent of Africa. But in this particular day and time, you can take somebody out of the bush in Africa, drop them off in the United States, and they're still going to have an advantage over the descendants of United States chattel slavery. One, because they were exposed to their own natural foods. Okay, 2, they were exposed to their own language and customs. Even if they still have the Christianity mixed into it, make no mistake about it, whether it's Christianity or Islam over there, they still know their traditional religions and customs and practices in more ways. So you have all of that, okay? And they don't have the constant bombardment of what we would call white supremacy to this day. Okay, so you drop them off here, and it's going to be easier for them to get in a higher position than us, because they don't have as many issues that they have to resolve, or layers that they have to remove from them and from their minds before they're able to advance and elevate themselves within the United States of America. Okay, so that is what people don't realize. Yet you can get, so when I hear these immigrant stories, I'm not taking away from what those people went through, but yes, you can catapult, because society is just set up for you all to do that and to advance higher than Black Americans who are descendants of slavery. So I'm saying all that to say, when it comes to quantum leaping, right? Instead of looking at, okay, let me go from 0 to 6 figures or 0 to 7 figures real easy like that, and work with my mind and, do all of these things. For me, what I do is I quantum jump into a reality where it's radical self-love. I love my hair. I love my skin color. I love my features. I love everything about me in its natural state, because we've gone through so much to make us hate ourselves. So why would I quantum leap into a reality where I'm making 7 figures and I'm going and I'm getting, I'm sewing in or gluing in somebody here from Cambodia or Brazil or from some Southeast Asian country or some other country, but I got 7 figures, okay? And I'm altering my body. I'm getting, trying to change the color of my eyes. Why would I do that? That's literally what I tell myself. Why would I want to reside in a reality like that? Because that money is just going to go back to the system. Some people say the beast. It's just going to go back to the beast. So you're going from 0 to 6 figures. You're going from 0 to 7 figures. But that money is still going back to the source that made you hate yourself. And make no mistake about it, the source is the source. So I don't even worry about that shit no more. Trying to go from 0 to 7 figures. No, I'm going to quantum leap into the next goddamn day where I'm waking up. I'm in my right mind. My gas tank is not on E. I'm not riding around, with no lapsed car insurance or no lapsed registration. Well, I'm worried about getting pulled over by the police and then potentially, dealing with police brutality. No, I'm quantum leaping into the next day to where everything is taken care of on my car. It's fully functioning down the road. It's not going to break down on me because I can't, so come on now. Get back to the basics with this. Quantum leap into having some, nutritious food in your refrigerator or in your deep freezer. Quantum leap into having, never running out of soap, toothpaste, and water. Okay? All right? Quantum leap into being able to speak other languages to where you're just not monolingual in the United States of America. Necesitas hablar muy idiomas. Al menos dos. Okay? You need to speak multiple languages. No, I think I still said that wrong. So, tú necesitas hablar dos idiomas, 2 o 3 idiomas. Okay? Necesitas hablar 2 o 3 idiomas, al menos. So you need to speak at least 2 or 3 languages. How about shifting into reality where you can do that? And I tell myself, okay, I need to intentionally practice my languages so I won't keep going back and shifting and forth in these realities where I'm rusty. One day I'm rusty and then the next day I have to expend all of this mind power because I have to speak Spanish to somebody in a legal setting. Okay? So, yeah. So just don't get caught up in this foolishness, y'all, with these folks telling y'all to manifest all of this stuff. Really was just it's foolishness. It don't make a hill of beans. Manifest, quantum jump into being in your right mind, being sane, being solvent. Okay? Getting you some quality rest, some water that's actually penetrating your cells and allowing you to be hydrated so you can fully function. You know, instead of trying to manifest. Not saying that you can't have a Range Rover, not saying that you can't have the 7 figures, but there's plenty of people out here with those things and their life is in hell. Okay, and so just a lot of the stuff for Black American descendants of slavery, for me especially, I had to just, I'm not even around those people really, and when I hear it, when I come across that, a lot of it I just scroll past, because I know what it is. I know my epigenetic makeup, and I know what works for me. Just as something as simple as I needed an actual business cell phone, because I had a separate business phone number. I had that, but I had a voice over IP, so of course it's connected to my laptop, but I had an app connected to my personal phone, the phone that I'm actually recording this video on, and I was in a reality where I was experiencing a lot of anxiety because I was unable to delineate between the two, because there was no off and on switch from personal and business, because it was technically all commingled on my personal phone. And I literally shifted into reality to where I got a separate phone for my business. And it didn't even cost me $300 with the brand new phone itself, and with a year-long unlimited phone plan. And I got that through Mint Mobile. And then I went and I got me an actual office, a physical office. And I manifested that, everything included, utilities, electricity, even Wi-Fi, for $395 a month. You can't beat that. And I found that on Craigslist. So I manifested that. Okay? I manifested that reality. Instead of saying, let me go jump to all of these extravagant things, which I really could have done that. I really could have signed a lease for something with larger square feet, had all the extra bells and whistles and amenities, but I would have been paying out the wazoo. And it would have been even harder for me, because I would have to drive down into this manifestation and this quantum jumping to where I was going to exhaust myself and get burned out. Why would I put myself in that position? Okay? So no, I'm not dealing with this stuff that they're talking about, manifestation and quantum leaping and all. I'm not saying it cannot be done, because I know it can be done, but that's not a reality for myself that I want as a direct descendant of chattel slavery. And make no mistake about it, you can, look, there was slavery on other continents and in other countries. We know that. Okay? But United States chattel slavery, those of us, our people who got dropped off on that last boat ride, was the worst of the worst. Okay, so no, I don't care about getting into a German engineered car when this car I got is taking me all over the state of Louisiana. I don't have no car note on it. My insurance, thank God for the state of Louisiana, is still fairly affordable with all we have going on with our car insurance rates here. So yeah, I'm going to continue manifesting and quantum leaping into that reality. Okay? So just don't get caught up in that, y'all. Just take it day by day with this quantum leaping. And because a leap is a leap. A jump is a jump. And it's not the distance that matters. Because people trying to go from infinity to beyond with this, and it's not like that. It's not like that. You waking up the next day and you got food in your refrigerator, and you got power on. Your utilities connected. You got hot water. You quantum leaped. You quantum jumped into that reality. Okay. All right. Waking up and intentionally choosing to be happy like I did today because I wanted to give myself every reason to be grumpy and be upset and be angry about everything that my ancestors and them went through and how I'm still dealing with that shit epigenetically and physically in this reality, especially right now in the current state of affairs of the United States of America. But I intentionally chose to shift it into reality, a quantum shift, if you will, into a reality to where, you know what, I'm going to be happy today. I'm just going to ride around and I'm going to be happy. I'm going to force myself to be happy because it literally could be worse. And it's not. So I wanted to get on here. I'm not going to keep y'all too long, to just really think about these things when you're coming across these people talking about manifesting, quantum leaping, quantum jumping, quantum shifting, and all these things that really sound like it's just some complicated high science that you have to do all of these mathematical figures and the scientific process. Like you don't have to do all of that. You literally don't have to do any of that. So yeah, just shift into a reality really where it's radical self-acceptance, radical self-love. You got the basics, and then just continue to build on from there. And I'm Queen with Soft Eye Boutique. Peace.